restaurant, it's because I really wanted to change the scenery. So I am in my daughter's nursery. But I'm not gonna show you guys the whole thing because one, it's not complete, and two, I do want to do a nursery tour video later on. But right now, I want to talk to you guys about how I knew I was pregnant before I took a test. So, little background. I conceived June 17, 2020. I'm gonna tell y'all how I know that's the day I conceived later on. And I found out that I was pregnant with the pregnancy test June 30th, so about 2 weeks later. So I found out pretty early that I was pregnant. I didn't really miss my period. I just took a test because I had so many symptoms and signs telling me that I was pregnant. I didn't even wait on my period to be late. I took a early response test. I think that's what it is. And I took a clear blue. So, yeah, I took 4 tests. They all came back positive. I wasn't really shocked. I act shocked, but I wasn't shocked. I knew I was pregnant. But let me go ahead and get into it. I knew that I was pregnant the moment it happened. I know y'all probably like, you capping, but I did because I felt like I was floating. Like, it just felt like an out-of-body experience, and I had never felt anything like that before. So I was like, that was weird. Don't mind my hair, y'all. I was just like, well, that's weird, but maybe I just, you know, got an experience I never had before. But, you know, that was the first sign that something was off. I don't know if that was spiritual, if I just felt something, but, and another thing, I worked at a restaurant when I got pregnant. And I used to always come home smelling like the kitchen. I was a server. I used to always come home smelling like the kitchen. And I could never smell it because I'm in the kitchen all day. So, you know, it gets used to the scent and you don't smell it anymore. But my mom would always complain when I came home that my work clothes smelled like a kitchen. I knew something was weird because I started smelling the kitchen on myself and it was really strong. I'm like, that's weird because I had never smelled this smell on myself before after I worked there for some time. So my sense of smell, the air just kicked on. I don't know if y'all can hear it or not, but my sense of smell was getting very sensitive. Another thing, I hated the smell of cooking meat. It's weird. I hated the smell of cooking meat, and that didn't really work because I worked in a restaurant, so it was kind of hard and I felt nauseous. At this point, I didn't really have any bad morning sickness. I just had nausea. That's one thing that kind of clued me in that something was off. Another thing was I never ate at the restaurant that I worked in because once you see how stuff is like made and prepared for yourself, like with your own eyes, it kind of turns you off to the food. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but for me, if I see what's going on in the kitchen, I'm not going to eat there because it be some things going on in the restaurant kitchen. I started really craving the weirdest things while I was at work. I had to eat while I was at work, but I wasn't eating like regular meals or anything. What I would do is, you know how you go to a restaurant and you can order extra shrimp or anything? When we put that in the system, it's a separate item. So I would go into the system on my break and I would just order the extra shrimp. So I would order about 12 grilled shrimp by itself, just grilled shrimp. And then I would put in garlic butter, the little slab of garlic butter that they put on steaks and things, and I would order just that. So it was like weird to eat by itself, but I was doing it every day. And people started noticing. They were like, you pregnant or something? Because you eating weird stuff. Let me think what else I used to do. Oh, I used to always order extra pickles. So I would eat pickles, shrimp, and garlic butter all together. Like, I have my pickles, sliced pickles, and I would have my garlic butter and shrimp, and I would just eat that. And it sounds disgusting now. And whenever I would go into the kitchen at my job, I would get so nauseous, like so nauseous. And I was telling my boyfriend that I felt sick, and I was like, Antonio, I think I'm pregnant. He was like, ain't no way you pregnant this fast. Cause I was telling him this like 3 days after, you know, we did what we do. I'm like, I know I'm pregnant. So it just kept getting progressively worse and worse to the point where I couldn't stand being in the kitchen. I ended up having to leave that job because it just got too much for me. Another symptom that I had was fatigue. I was so tired. I was so tired. Now, I'm the type of person that when I was at home, you know, I used to cheer in high school. I just got out of high school like, what, 4 years ago? So that wasn't that long ago. So I used to just be in my room dancing and walking around playing. I had 2 dogs at the time. We used to go outside, run around in the backyard. Like, I had loads of energy. So that was weird for me. I could not stand being awake for more than 3 or 4 hours before needing a nap. And I used to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning every day to take my dogs out to use the bathroom. And I just could not get up. And it was so hard for me to take them outside. Where I'm from, it is so hot in the summertime. So like, it was like 90 degrees outside. And I was just suffering. I was suffering. It got bad. Well, I was still staying with my mom, but I didn't really want her to know that I was pregnant yet, because not because it was wrong or I was doing anything wrong, because I'm grown, but I didn't really want her to know because my mom is super possessive of me, and if she knew that I was pregnant, then she would probably be very dramatic about it, feel some type of way because she didn't want to share me with anybody. And she actually told us that once she found out. You know, now my mom loves my baby. She loves my baby probably more than she loves me. But yeah, it was just weird. So I was really trying to hide those symptoms from her. I'm very country, if you can't tell. And so country people have this thing where if somebody dreams about fish or somebody going fishing, that means that person is pregnant. And my mom, she came to me like a day after I took the test, and she was like, you got something to tell me? I'm like, no. She was like, well, I dreamed about you and Antonio in a boat, and he was fishing, and you were just in the back catching all the fish that he was pulling up. And you know what that means. So I was like, oh snap, this lady knows. But I kept hiding until I got the right time to tell her. I really didn't hide it for that long, probably like a couple days, and then I finally told her. Up to that point, I was still nauseous. I wasn't throwing up. But the day after I went to my first appointment, which was like 2 days after I told my mom, I started vomiting 24/7. I started vomiting 24/7. I couldn't even sleep. I couldn't even talk to somebody without running to the bathroom and throwing up. And it was so bad. I lost about 20 pounds in the beginning of my pregnancy, which was already bad because, you know, I'm a little chunky now, but when I got pregnant, I was only 140 pounds. I'm 5'6". I was 140 pounds, so I was this tiny little thing. And for me to lose weight, I got so small and weak. And that lasted up until I was about 22 weeks. Like, I would be on FaceTime with her dad, and I would just have him on mute because I would just over the toilet and just throw my life away. The smallest things that I ate would make me sick. I got to the point where the only thing that I could eat was Cinnamon Toast Crunch and milk, cold milk. But even then, I would throw that up. Like, this is TMI, but I would throw it up so fast that the milk would still be cold coming up. Like, as soon as I would put the spoon to my mouth and finish eating a bowl, I would run to the bathroom and throw it up. And it kind of made me feel some type of way because my doctors were kind of getting on me for not gaining enough weight during the beginning of my pregnancy. But I'm like, what can I do? Nothing that I eat stays down. So, but my baby was growing healthy, so I didn't care about. Those are most of my symptoms that I had when I first got pregnant. And I knew I was pregnant. I already knew I was pregnant. I knew the moment that it happened that I was pregnant. So I really didn't need any symptoms to tell me, but I still had symptoms. I think my body doesn't react well to the pregnancy hormone. So as soon as my HCG levels went up, my body went haywire. I felt like a different person. But I'm not gonna get into detail about that because I am gonna do a postpartum body image video about how I feel about myself, how things have changed on my body, about my mindset, everything after having a baby. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned because it is coming soon. This is the end of the video. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. I am going to be more consistent, everything. I am going to do a video properly introducing you guys to this little being. But for right now, I don't really think it's appropriate to put her on YouTube just because I'm very private with her. So yeah, but once I do get comfortable in front of the camera, I might feel comfortable sharing her with you guys. But my baby is getting fussy, so I'm gonna go. Thanks for watching.